Okay, so I just want to clarify a few things from the last video I made about, uh, men still approaching women, and there was just a few comments on it. But my point here is, women are not going to come up and talk to you, in large part, as a guy. Okay, and I think historically that's kind of always been true. And that's what men have to deal with in general, right? I totally get the argument of, as a guy, you are going to have to make things happen in your life, right? If you don't do anything in your life, and nothing's going to happen to you, most likely, right? Whether that's your career, whether that's your relationships, owning anything, buying property, doing anything, right? You're going to have to go out and make it happen. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen. So the similar thing is true in relationships, and that's all I was saying in my other video, is that as a woman, especially a younger woman, they have the luxury of kind of being desired by the other sex greatly. Men very much will come up to them, they will talk to them, they will make offers to women because the man knows that if they don't do that, that they're not going to have opportunities, or they're not going to have relationships happen. So I think you have to realize that. And I know historically a lot of guys would approach women because that was the only way that you would probably get into some sort of relationship, or have some sort of interaction with a woman. Now, because of phones and the internet and social media, a lot of people or a lot of guys are maybe a little bit hesitant to approach in person. They feel more comfortable doing it online. They don't want to offend the woman. They don't want the woman to, say something about them publicly or embarrass them. And, all those things could have been true like in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, but there was no other alternative, right? So again, if you wanted something to happen as a guy, you had to go up and put yourself out there and potentially get rejected, potentially, waste your time, kind of chase it, or following up with the woman and not having much happen, right? And so it's kind of like a sales job in that regard, where you have to put in a bunch of work, you have to put in effort with no expectation that you're going to get the sale, right? You might not get the sale, you might put in a bunch of work and get nothing. And that's how it is, I think, today for a lot of men. If you feel like you're putting in a lot of work, you're approaching women, you're following up, you're trying to arrange a date, you're trying to arrange something to happen, and then it's just a whole lot of non-interest, kind of what's the word? Indifference, like the woman's kind of non-committal about doing anything with you. And I've said it in other videos, but it's like pulling teeth to get them to commit to want to do something with you. Then I think that's kind of where guys are just, like I said, they say, I've had enough. I don't really want to keep doing this. It's just exhausting. I understand as a guy, of course, if I want anything to happen, if I want a relationship, if I want to have interactions with women, I'm going to have to do a lot of the legwork, right? I can't just expect to go to the gym or show up at a Starbucks and have women flood me and want to be with me and want to know me more and take me out to dinner and send me messages on social media. That doesn't happen, okay? Maybe if you're a really good looking guy, it happens to you. I don't know. But 95% of guys, doesn't happen. So yes, if you want something to happen to you, you are going to have to go out and do it. But I think there's a lot of people who are discouraged by it. They've made efforts maybe, or they've been embarrassed, they've been shamed, they've been following up with people, trying to get them to go on a date, or trying to get to know someone better, and the other person, in this case the woman, is just she's not committal. Okay, she's not very interested in wanting to really know you more. She maybe only responds to you when it's convenient for her. Okay, and that comes from the standpoint of the woman having a bunch of options, right? Especially if she's a younger woman. She's going to be flooded with social media messages if she's on social media. If she's on a dating app, she's going to be flooded with messages there. If she goes out in public, she's going to have lots of guys coming up to her and wanting to get to know her more. And so it's going to be hard for just a guy like you or a normal person to grab her attention and really have a realistic shot in a relationship with that person, unless you're a really high value guy. And that's why a lot of guys in their 20s or even in their later 20s, it's, you know what, I tried doing that. I really wanted a relationship when I was 20 or 25, just right out of college. But these women really, most of them didn't really want that. They had a lot of interest from men, and they didn't really want to commit to a guy that didn't have a very well-established situation. And so that's what guys have to do. They kind of have to give up on that in their 20s and focus on other things, hobbies, their career, doing whatever. Because oftentimes the energy that you spend trying to find a relationship when you're 20 or 25, unless you get lucky and find someone that's just right on the same path as you and is committed to you, that can still happen. That's what happened traditionally. That's why a lot of people got married and had kids when they were 20 or 23 or 24, right out of college. They buy a house together, they're committed, they get married. That's happening less and less, in large part because, again, the internet, social media, dating apps has made it so that women, in large part, don't have to commit to anything. They can keep their options open, they can play the field, and then whenever they're ready to settle down, they're going to maybe pick the best of the available options. And that's kind of what happens, right? So as a guy, if you don't get what you're looking for, a lot of guys are making they're making the conclusion of, okay, I'm going to give up on this for a couple of years. I'm going to put my energy into other things. Maybe I'll come back and revisit this when I'm a little bit more higher value. I have more of my life figured out. I have more to offer to a woman. And then maybe I'll reassess when I'm 30 or when I'm 33. But as a guy, if you're 23, 24, 25 years old and you're just out of college and you don't have much and you're competing for a woman's attention who is getting attention from guys that are 20 to 40, you might have a hard time really getting her attention and really getting commitment from her just because they have so many options, right? And like I said, in the past, there wasn't those options. There wasn't the internet. There wasn't, women pretty much had a lot of pressure to settle down at 23 or 20 to 25 years old. If they weren't married by 25, something was wrong. So now that's changed. And so, a lot of guys are kind of walking away from that. And again, I don't disagree with people that say, hey, if you're a guy and even if you're young, you just have to keep going and trying. Yes, I agree. If you keep doing that, eventually you'll have some success. But a lot of guys just say, this is a waste of time. Even if I happen to get lucky here or there, it's not anything serious. And, oh my God, it's a lot of work to even get one or two women to consider me just for like a short-term thing, right? So again, the guys it's a good thing that they shift their energy towards more productive pursuits. And then once they are more established, maybe they come back to finding a relationship when they're a little bit more higher value. So let me know what you think on that. You can subscribe and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.